Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In my mixing pigment with clear polish video, I got 2 requests, and the first request was to do a design in teal and purple. And so the purple that I have on is the purple pigment powder, which is Reflex Violet. The teal on my ring finger is China Glaze Deviantly Daring. And I went to Hobby Lobby and I got a new pigment powder, and so the color on my middle finger is the duo green purple. And I only have one hand done right now because I wanted to go ahead and get started on this hand before I forget what I want to do. And I have some striping tape that I made that I'm going to put on my ring and middle finger, but first I want to show you guys how I made my striping tape. I used some clear tape, and I have these creative scissors that cut into this pattern, and I think I have about 6 of them. Let me use my tweezers. I think I have about 6 of them, and they're in different designs, and I just wanted to use this one today. Just place it on there, mash it down, and cut through. And because this piece has the straight edge, I usually just throw this part away, because I want the zigzags or the design on both sides of the strip. So doing it again, just line up the design with the sides of the sides on the scissors and cut again, and then you have your own striping tape. So I'm going to take the striping tape and put it on my ring finger, going this way. Mash it down and make sure it's mashed down pretty good, especially at the cuticles, because you don't want it to bleed under. And what's going on top of the striping tape is the duo green purple. So I'm going to put out some clear and take my brush and scoop this into the clear. Oh, that might be too much. Oh, my brush is hard because I was trying this out earlier. I think I want some more. And since my brush is already covered in polish, I'm going to use my orange stick to grab some more. Dump that in there. And this applied really kind of good, but it just takes some practice with the right amount of mixture that you want. So just apply this over the striping tape. And let it dry for a couple of seconds, and then I'm going to go in with a second coat. So I'm gonna let this dry for a couple seconds, and then I'll be back. So I'm applying the second coat, and once you apply the second coat, you want to go ahead and peel the striping tape before it dries so that you get cleaner lines in the design. And here's the outcome. And for the second coat of the duo, I made another little palette right here instead of using this again or mixing some more on top of this, because well, for one, I didn't use this because it's drying, and I didn't mix more on top of it because I didn't want to get a gloppy mess. So on my middle finger, I'm going to do the opposite color of my ring finger and use the China glaze on this one. And I would just mess it up with powder on my finger. Well, this color might hide that, I'm pretty sure. And the same applies to this, just putting it all over on top of the striping tape. And then let it dry. Apply a second coat and remove the strip. So here goes the second coat. And just peel up the tape. And there's our design. And now time for cleanup. I have my cleanup brush and acetone. And my paper towel off to the side for wiping off my brush. And when you're using striping tape, you need to apply a quick dry top coat before applying the tape, because if you put the tape directly on your base color, you're going to pull up the base color when you pull up the striping tape. So definitely don't want that. As for the second request that I had, someone suggested to use the pigment powders as a chrome powder and buff it onto my nail. So I have a makeup sponge, if I can get a hold of it, and I'm going to buff it into my thumb. And it does give it a purple tint, and it looks really good. I think the more I'm buffing it, I'm starting to take it away, but let's try to put some more in there. Okay, and let's leave it at that. So buffing this onto another color, it does work pretty good. So let's now I have to figure out how to top coat it without getting it on in my top coat. So I can, let's just do it how we did our pigment powder, but actually I can just go ahead and put my top coat on the brush instead of on my little notepad. But the top coat is not really working. Looks like the top coat is dragging off the powder. So let's try this. Well, it doesn't really look like this is effective. I can still see a little bit tint of a purple, but I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but I can still see a little bit. But the top coat definitely took off some of the pigment powder. So that's my left hand done. I'm going to do my right hand and I'll be back. So here's the almost finished design, and I say almost because I haven't buffed the purple powder into my right thumbnail yet, because I wanted to show the difference between the original teal and what it looks like with the color, the purple pigment buffed into it. With the purple pigment, it turned the teal into more of a blue teal, and as you can see, the original looks more of a green teal. And the only nitpicking I can do is that really on both of my middle fingers, the striping tape that I used is a little bit wider than the one that I used on my ring finger, and I like the wider tape better, and so I should have used, or I should have cut some wider strips of tape and used those on my ring fingers as well. Overall, I do like this design in these colors, and this design actually reminds me of Reptar from the Rugrats, because you know Reptar is a green dinosaur, and he always had that purple tongue. So, and these zigzags, the zigzags are like represent of his scales or something. So this design reminds me of Reptar from the Rugrats. And also, I hope the ones who wanted these suggestions, or the ones who made these suggestions, I hope you all are happy with what you see. I hope all of you are happy with what you see. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and please like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.